Hello there, sorry from 17 once again. This is my Legend of Korra Extreme Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 1, A Tight Corner. So immediately guys, I have to say this because this video is going to be a preface to the walkthrough and it's not very long. Please do not judge the game based on the footage that you're watching right now. This is an introduction to the controls where you essentially have a lot of the powers. You don't have any context on how to use them, and there's just a bunch of throwaway enemies to fight and test out your abilities with. It's very large scale, there's a ton of dudes on screen. It's kind of this game at its worst in my opinion. And for some reason, popular media at this moment in time want you to believe that this game is appalling, that this game is disgracefully poor and an utter disgrace. And that is just not true. It really isn't true. If you are a fan of Legend of Korra, you're probably going to be very disappointed in this game because I have no idea who any of these people are or what any of them are doing, and I could tell that the story was, you know, threadbare, not really there, and no real characterization of any sort. Also, this might be a tutorial, but you can die in it. As soon as you get the air power, just spam the triangle and you'll get through this with a lot of ease. But these first two sequences are actually just kind of irreverent and a little bit strange, but the first section goes down. The second section is actually the toughest part of the chapter for some reason, because I failed it 3 times and I couldn't tell you why, and the time I got a success on it, the only difference between my first few attempts and the second one was that the enemies I was fighting didn't block. So it seems kind of a bit random, but you essentially, you have to knock all 3 of these people off the edge. And once you lower their life bar, they'll fall backwards. Once they fall backwards, you want to attack the other ones. When you knock all 3 of them back, it'll push you forward. However, if they knock you back, it'll push you back. And it's this game of tug and war, which could be quite interesting if the controls weren't absolute anus. For some reason, you can't move correctly. You do this really slow sidestep. So to move, you either have to block or you have to flip. And this game has a limit on how many evades you can do before it penalises you, which is just completely insane because you can't move very fast at all on these sequences, and to me they're some of the worst in the game purely because they don't feel fluid at all. But I don't have long to say this, but if you've avoided getting this game because of the review that IGN and GameSpot gave it, don't. The game that is here, if you have any kind of appreciation for action games where they have interesting combat systems, or even if you've kind of wanted to get into a Platinum game but you've never really had the balls, or you've been put off by the fact they seem so deep and so challenging, this is essentially a snack-sized Platinum game, which is going to be much easier for beginners, but it's still going to give veterans something to enjoy. All of it is wrapped up in the framework of Legend of Korra, which, if you like the series, it's a bonus, but once again, you will be disappointed if you're expecting, you know, canon awesomeness here, because it just doesn't really exist. And the last thing that I have to say quickly is all the unfair criticism of this game has been referencing and comparing it to Bayonetta 2, which is something this game was never intended to be. It was not meant to be competition for Bayonetta 2 or in any way symbolise the same kind of things that game does. Because think of it like this, folks. This game was announced earlier this year and released later this year. It is a very small dev cycle. It's obviously not big budget because it's a budget priced game. It's a game that costs, you know, 1/3 of your average title these days, and it's downloadable only. Not only that, it got 0 marketing from Nickelodeon, 0 marketing from Platinum, 0 marketing from Activision, so it almost seems like this game is destined to fail. And if you look at the reviews, they tell you that it's not a good game, and I'm here to tell you folks, if you like combat systems and you like Legend of Korra, I see no reason why you will not enjoy this game. You just have to temper your expectations because it's a budget title and it's not Bayonetta 2. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of the guide. You take care now.